Honey, if only you had seen her the way destiny used to watch her, standing in the dim light of her small room, where broken hopes hung like tired lanterns. And yet her heart glowed brighter than anything she ever lost. People say angels have wings, but I swear she had scars instead. And those scars carried more light than any sky you have ever prayed under. She breathed struggle, the kind that makes a person shiver from the inside, the kind that steals sleep, steals peace, steals the childhood hidden inside a grown woman. But when she exhaled love. Pure, warm, unfiltered, honest love. The kind that melts fear, heals wounds, and builds a home in a heart that never asked to be saved. Yes, she was tired. God knows how tired. But even her tiredness walked with elegance. The kind of elegance that comes only from souls who learn to kneel in storms, but rise again like the sun has sworn loyalty to them. She lived a life where everything came late. Peace came late. Happiness came late. Good people came late. But she never complained. She simply looked at the sky and whispered, Ya Allah, when it is written, it will come. Her struggle was deep, but her faith was deeper. And the world never understood how a girl who cried quietly every night could still smile softly every morning, as if her heart carried a secret garden no season could destroy. Honey, listen to me carefully, because this is the truth no one told you. She didn't give love because she had a lot of it. She gave love because she knew exactly what it felt like to receive none. And that is where her royalty lived. Not in gold, not in clothes, not in beauty, but in her ability to stay soft. In a world that tried to break her hard. They called her fragile, but her soul walked stronger than mountains. They called her quiet, but her silence carried the weight of kingdoms. They called her simple, but her heart was a palace, where loyalty slept safely every night. She breathed struggle. Yes, but she exhaled love so pure that even angels paused to listen. When she whispered someone's name in dua. Her story begins with pain, but it does not belong to pain. It belongs to the girl who turned every wound into wisdom, every tear into patience, every loss into light. And if you ever meet a woman like her, hold her close, because women who survive storms, but still choose love, are not born every day. They are written, chosen, protected, rare. This is her story, and it is only beginning. She was the kind of girl the world often overlooks, not because she was less, but because she never screamed for attention. Her presence was quiet, but her heart was loud enough to echo through destinies she never knew would meet hers. Every morning, before the sun stretched its golden arms across the sky, she would sit by her window, wrap her struggles around her like a shawl, and whisper a prayer that sounded like a promise only her soul understood. She never asked life to be kind. She only asked for the strength to endure it. And that strength, my God, it lived in her like a hidden flame that refused to die, no matter how strong the wind blew. People called her fragile, because they did not see the war she fought in silence. They did not see how many nights she stayed awake, stitching hope back into a heart that had been torn more times than anyone knew. Her silence was not weakness. Her softness was not surrender. Her tears were not signs of failure. They were proof that she carried oceans inside her, oceans she never let drown anyone else. She walked through life with the courage of someone who has already lost more than she can lose again, yet still wakes up, believing she might find something worth holding on to. And when she loved, she didn't love like ordinary people. She loved in a way that made the world around her soften, as if everything painful in her past had gathered together just to create the depth she poured into love. She never loved halfway. She never loved with doubt. She never loved with hesitation. She loved like someone who believed her heart was a divine trust. She had to protect, honor, and give honestly. Sometimes she cried, not because she was weak, but because the weight of being strong, for too long, had settled too heavily on her chest. But even then, even when the world felt heavy, even when her voice trembled, even when her hand shook, she still chose kindness. She still chose loyalty. She still chose love. That is what made her rare. Not her beauty, not her words, not her smile, but the unbreakable truth that she kept loving, even after life gave her every reason to stop. She breathed struggle, but she exhaled such gentle love that even the darkest nights seemed to borrow light from her. She moved like poetry. She prayed like a believer. She endured like a warrior. She loved like a queen. And if you listen closely, you can still hear her footsteps on the path of destiny. Soft, steady, patient, as if she knows that every heartache she survived was preparing her for something extraordinary. She walked through this world the way a wounded bird still tries to fly, with broken feathers, but an unbroken will. Life had thrown stones at her soul, but somehow she learned how to turn every stone into a stepping place for her dreams. There were days when her heart felt too heavy to lift, days when her breath trembled, days when she wanted nothing more than to disappear into a silence that didn't demand anything from her. But she never did. She stayed. She rose. She kept going, as if she had made a silent promise to herself, to the world, and to love itself, that she would not break, even if she bent. People thought she was quiet because she had nothing to say, but the truth was, she had lived through storms that taught her silence is a sanctuary for those who feel deeply. She had mastered the art of carrying her heartbreak without letting it leak into anyone else's life. She could be shattering inside and still offer you a smile warmer than sunrise, a kindness deeper than oceans. Her heart was stitched with threads of patience, prayers, and pain that she never blamed anyone for. She forgave faster than she healed. She trusted longer than she should have. She loved harder than she admitted. And still, she stood in the world like a garden blooming in the middle of winter. If you had met her on a random day, you would never know how many times she had been left alone to pick up the pieces of her own soul. You would never guess how many nights she cried quietly, so she would not disturb the peace of anyone sleeping beside her walls. She was that kind of girl, the kind who gave comfort, even when she was collapsing inside, the kind who offered love, even when her own heart was bleeding from old wounds, the kind who showed up, even when nobody ever showed up for her. Her strength was not the loud, proud kind that roars like thunder. Her strength was the quiet kind that survives after the thunder is past. She was the kind of soul that carried storms in her chest, but still somehow gave shelter to everyone she loved. And when she chose to love someone, she didn't love from the surface. She loved from the roots, from the deepest, truest, most sacred part of her being. Her love was not decoration. Her love was devotion. You could break her heart into 100 pieces, and she would still gather those pieces and use them to love you again. Not because she was weak, but because she believed that love is not something you measure. It is something you give. She breathed struggle, carried storms, walked through fire, yet she always exhaled the same thing: Pure, unfiltered, soft love that made even the hardest hearts quiet down in her presence. She was proof that some souls were made of wounds, yet shine brighter than stars. She never asked life to be easy. She only asked for a little peace, a small corner of the world where her heart could finally breathe, without fear, without hurry, without breaking again. But life, in its strange way, kept testing her, as if it knew she was made of something ordinary people could never understand. She woke up every morning with the same silent prayer: let today be gentler than yesterday. Yet even on the days when the world forgot to be kind, she remembered to be. She could be drowning in unseen sorrow, but if you stood before her with even a trace of pain in your eyes, she would forget her own storms and hold out light for you, as if she had never tasted darkness. Her heart was always working, always healing, always giving, always choosing softness in a world that rewarded hardness. Some evenings, she sat alone with her thoughts, tired in a way that sleep could not fix. Her soul carried a weight that words could not explain. But even then, she smiled at the sky, as if telling it, I'm still here. I'm still trying. She had mastered the quiet bravery of carrying her world without collapsing under it. She had turned endurance into a kind of poetry, a moving, breathing testament that beauty exists, even in the broken places. People called her simple, but she was not simple. She was deep, deep in ways that frightened shallow souls. She was the kind of woman who prayed for people, who heard her, who wished well for people, who forgot her, who still showed up for people, who never came for her. Her love was never about what she received. Her love was about who she was. If you looked closely, you would see the softness she protected, like a fragile flower growing in a battlefield. You would see the quiet hope she kept alive, even when life gave her every reason to let it die. And when she loved like a promise, steady, loyal, unshakable. Her love was the kind you don't find twice in one lifetime. The kind that makes broken men believe in healing again. The kind that teaches wounded hearts how to trust the world one more time. She breathed struggle, yes, but she exhaled something far greater. Her breath carried the fragrance of patience, mercy, resilience, and a gentleness the world did not deserve. Her life was not perfect, but her love was a miracle. A small, quiet, beautiful miracle that made everyone around her better, softer, more human. She may have walked through storms, but she never let the storms change the way she held others. She may have been tired, but she never let the tiredness touch the way she loved. She was living proof that even a wounded soul can carry enough light to guide others home. There are women who walk through life quietly, without asking for applause, without longing for recognition, without carrying banners of what they survived. And then there was her. She did not speak of her pain, yet her silence held the weight of all the battles she won alone. She did not seek pity, yet her eyes carried a softness that made even the strongest souls wish to protect her. She was not fragile. She was finely made, like delicate glass that holds fire inside it. You touch her with care, not because she will break, but because she deserves tenderness in all its forms. Every scar on her heart was a story of someone she healed, someone she forgave, someone she loved more than they ever deserved. Her kindness was not learned from comfort. It was carved from suffering, polished by heartbreak, blessed by patience. She could have turned cold. Life gave her every reason to. Yet she chose warmth, as if it were her birthright. When she smiled, it was not because she never cried. It was because she refused to let pain dictate her destiny. And when she loved like a sanctuary, a place where tired souls rested, where restless minds breathed, where wounded hearts found their rhythm again. People entered her life with empty hands and left with new hope, new courage, new reasons to believe in goodness again. She never asked for anything back. She never demanded loyalty, never measured affection, never kept score. Her love was pure giving. Her heart was pure offering. She did not change the world with loud speeches or dramatic gestures. She changed the world quietly, one healed soul at a time, one softened heart at a time, one act of impossible patience at a time. And the world hardly realized how lucky it was to witness her. Because when a woman breathes struggle but exhales pure love, she becomes something sacred, a miracle walking barefoot among ordinary people. She becomes the reason someone chooses kindness over anger, faith over fear, hope over despair. She becomes a quiet revolution, a soft force that holds mountains upright, that lifts broken men again, that teaches lost spirits how to rise from ashes without bitterness. She was not perfect, but she was rare in a way that made the world gentler every time her heart opened. And anyone who ever stood close enough to her soul would know one truth with absolute certainty. Her love was the kind of love that outlives the woman herself. It stays, it grows, it echoes, it becomes a blessing in the lives of everyone it touches. Her story was not written in gold. It was written in light. And light, no matter how small, always finds a way to reach the ones who need it. She breathed struggle, but exhaled a love that could heal this world, if only the world was wise enough to receive it. And that was her miracle. That was her legacy. That was her truth. If this touched your heart even for a moment, comment your favorite line. Your words might heal someone today.